All right, let's jump into another deep dive. This time we're heading to a cornfield in Ohio, August 2003, and a mysterious crop formation appears right across from the Serpent Mound. Eyewitness accounts, scientific analysis, even some local folklore, to figure out what happened. So, ready to dive in.
The thing that really caught my eye with this one is the crop itself.
Hmm.
Crop formations, they usually pop up in wheat or barley fields, right? But this one, it's in a soybean field. It's kind of a weird detail that sets this case apart.
It does make you wonder why soybeans. Like, was that intentional? Whoever or whatever made this thing. And speaking of intentional, you can't ignore the location. Right across from the Serpent Mound. I mean, come on, an ancient earthwork with its own mysteries. That can't be a coincidence.
Oh yeah, the Serpent Mound connection is definitely intriguing. Adds a whole layer of, symbolism and context we can't ignore. But before we go too far down the rabbit hole, let's stick to the facts for a minute.
Okay, facts. Hit me with them. What do we know about this formation? Like, how was it discovered?
Well, we got to start with Delcy Nokelman. She found it on August 24th, 2003. And here's the thing. She was in the same area just the day before and said it wasn't there. It just kind of popped up overnight.
So, sudden appearance, mysterious location. Sounds like we're in a mystery novel here, except this is real life. Anything else from Delcy or any other eyewitnesses that stands out?
Well, Delcy's father, Jim McKenzie, he got curious. Took a metal detector to the site. And guess what? He found varying levels of metals and minerals within the circles. Like one circle in particular had way higher concentrations.
Hold on. Varying metal levels. That's not something you just find in your average cornfield. Makes you think about like some kind of unusual energy, right?
Yeah, it's a possibility. And get this, another witness, Tree Pruitt, reported seeing balls of light circling above the field the night before the formation appeared.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now we're in X-Files territory. Mysterious lights, metal anomalies. Are we saying these balls of light could be connected to the formation?
It's definitely a question worth asking. But let's switch gears a bit and look at the science. A researcher named Jeffrey Wilson, he's an independent crop circle guy, was called in to document everything. Measurements, diagrams, even GPS coordinates, the whole 9 yards.
It sounds like he was taking this seriously. What did he find when he looked at the soybean plants themselves?
This is where it gets interesting. Wilson found the plants were flattened, but not broken. And here's the kicker. There was heat damage, specifically at the base of the leaves.
Heat damage? That's weird. How do you get that kind of focused heat in a field? Doesn't sound natural.
Exactly. And wait, there's more. Wilson's team, they got some unusual readings within the formation. Higher than normal radiation levels, electric and magnetic fields, even radio waves.
Radio waves. In a cornfield. Okay, now we're talking. What do those readings tell us?
Here's the crazy part. Those readings were significantly higher than in the areas outside the formation. And get this, it was the first time ever that radio waves were detected within a crop circle. Like, ever.
Whoa, that's huge. Flattened soybeans, weird heat, and now radio waves. This is not your average cornfield mystery.
It definitely pushes the boundaries of what we know. But there's another piece of this puzzle we haven't even touched on yet. The geometry of the formation itself.
You mean like the shapes and patterns? I'm all ears? Tell me more.
Yeah, the geometry. See, another researcher, Alan Brown, he looked at the design, and he found something pretty wild. The formation, it actually shows 2 brand new ways to square the circle geometrically. And these are incredibly accurate, which is a big deal because squaring the circle, that's a classic mathematical problem. It's been around for centuries.
Squaring the circle. Okay, I'm going to need a little help with that one. What exactly does that mean?
Basically, you're trying to create a square that has the same area as a given circle. But the catch is you can only use a compass and a straight edge. It's way harder than it sounds. Like, it's a puzzle that stumped mathematicians forever. And for this crop formation to, solve it, it's mind-blowing.
So this isn't just some random design, right? This formation is using serious math. It's like a giant puzzle in the middle of a field. What else about the design? Anything else that jumps out?
Remember that small circle we talked about? The one with the extra minerals that Jim McKenzie found with his metal detector? Well, it's right in the middle of the formation. But get this, there were no tracks leading to it. No sign of anyone getting in or out.
Wait, so if someone made this thing, how'd they get to that circle without leaving a trace? This just gets weirder and weirder. Anything else about the formation itself?
Oh yeah, one more thing. The next spring, an echo of the formation popped up in the same field. This time, it was purple flowers growing in the exact same pattern, even before the field was replanted.
That's spooky. It's like the field itself remembered what happened there, almost like it left some kind of energetic mark.
It's pretty poetic thought, isn't it? but it definitely raises some questions. What could have caused that kind of lasting effect?
All right, so we've got a soybean crop formation with crazy geometry, weird energy readings, a mystery circle no one can reach, and then this echo in flowers the next year. And this is all happening right next to the Serpent Mound. There's got to be a connection.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore. I mean, the Serpent Mound, it's an effigy mound, built by who knows who and for what purpose. Still a mystery. Some folks think it was for ceremonies, others think it was about the stars. It's massive, over 1,300 feet long, and it lines up with certain celestial events.
Okay, so it's already got this whole mysterious vibe going on, and then, bam, this crop formation shows up right in its backyard. It's almost like it's pointing right at it. Is it trying to tell us something?
The location and that alignment, yeah, it's definitely striking. Remember, the formation appeared directly across from the Serpent Mound's head. That's hard to brush off as just coincidence.
I agree. It feels like there's a message there connecting this, like, modern mystery with this ancient site. What do we know about the Serpent Mound itself? What makes it so special?
Well, it's one of the largest and best preserved effigy mounds in the world, for starters. But beyond that, there's just something about it. People talk about feeling like a heightened energy there or a connection to something bigger than themselves.
That makes me think about the local folklore, like the Thunderbird legend. It's about this powerful bird creature battling a serpent. The pretty common theme in Native American cultures around here.
And some researchers actually think the Serpent Mound might be representing that serpent from the legend.
Okay, so if the Serpent Mound is the serpent, where does the crop formation fit into all this?
Well, look at the shape and where it is. It kind of looks like the arrow the Thunderbird shoots piercing the serpent's head.
Whoa, that's a powerful image. So we've got this ancient story, good versus evil, the Thunderbird and the serpent, and now we've got this modern-day crop formation right there, aligned with the serpent's head. Are you saying this crop formation is like a message about the Thunderbird legend?
It's definitely an interesting interpretation. And it does fit with the Thunderbird's whole symbolism, renewal, transformation. Could it be a message about change, maybe a new era?
That's a big jump. But I gotta admit, it's a fascinating idea. Are there any other connections between the crop formation and the Serpent Mound that we should be thinking about?
We can't forget about all those weird scientific readings we talked about. The energy levels, the magnetic fields, especially those radio waves.
Oh yeah, that was wild. Radio waves coming from a cornfield. That's some sci-fi stuff right there. You think those anomalies, are they connected to the Serpent Mound somehow?
It's a good question. Remember how the Serpent Mound sits on this geologically fractured ridge?
Yeah.
Inside an ancient impact crater, actually.
So, like, the ground under the Serpent Mound is kind of messed up.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. The crop formation, it showed up right where a bunch of water lines, magnetic lines, and fault lines all come together.
Like a giant energy hotspot.
That's one way to look at it. It's possible all that, combined with whatever, ancient energy is hanging around the Serpent Mound, created like a perfect storm for this weird event to happen.
Okay, so we've got ancient legends, scientific anomalies, maybe some kind of energy connection, and people getting weird vibes at the Serpent Mound. My head's spinning. What's the takeaway here? What are we supposed to make of all this?
I think the biggest thing is there are still mysteries out there, things we just don't get. And that's okay. It's good to be curious, to not know everything, and to keep looking for answers.
So you're not saying you believe, like, aliens made this crop formation or the Thunderbird or anything like that?
I'm not ruling anything out. I'm just saying keep an open mind, let the evidence lead the way.
But what about the evidence we do have? What's it telling us?
It's telling us something definitely happened in that soybean field, something we can't explain with normal science. But it doesn't give us all the answers. We're left with a mystery, and honestly, that's kind of cool.
I get that. It's exciting. It reminds us there's still so much to learn and discover out there.
Absolutely. And even if we never figure out exactly what happened in that Ohio soybean field, just thinking about the possibilities, it makes us think differently about the world, It sparks our imagination.
What would you say to the skeptics out there? The ones who think it was just a hoax or something natural?
I'd say, hey, stay open-minded. This Locust Grove thing, no matter how it happened, it shows us there are things out there we just don't have an explanation for yet. It makes us question what we think we know and look at things from different angles.
That's a good point. Sometimes it's not about getting all the answers, but about asking the right questions. In this case, it definitely makes us ask some big questions about reality, our place in the universe, all the things we don't know yet.
I'm going to say it better myself. Maybe that's the real message of this whole Locust Grove thing. Stay curious, embrace the mystery, and never stop exploring the unknown.
Well said. I think that about wraps up our deep dive. We've explored the strange events in that Ohio soybean field, the whole Serpent Mound mystery, and even talked about what it all means in the grand scheme of things.
And we've encouraged everyone listening to think for themselves and to keep an open mind about the unknown.
We'll be sure to include links to all the source materials so you can check it out for yourselves. Don't be afraid to come to your own conclusions.
And remember, the journey of discovery is just as important as the destination. Keep those minds open and keep exploring.
Until next time, keep wondering.